Hello and welcome to Buddhistdoor Global's weekly news review. I'm Dr. Justin Whitaker, Senior Correspondent for BDG. In this week's news, in America, the music icon Tina Turner has turned to Buddhist principles in her new book. An award-winning singer and songwriter and a music icon to millions with a career spanning some 60 years, Tina Turner's multifaceted life and work have never been far from the headlines. Her latest venture is a deeply personal book titled Happiness Becomes You, a guide to changing your life for good, which explores her long-standing relationship with Buddhism and seeks to share her experience and the wisdom she has gained from the timeless teaching, with the stated intention of helping others find happiness in their own lives. Born Anna Mae Bullock in 1939 in Tennessee and raised a Baptist, Turner found refuge in Nichiren Buddhism in 1973. In interviews, she has described herself as a Buddhist Baptist. Her book is due to be released toward the end of 2020. Also in the United States, The Buddhist on Death Row, a new book on Jarvis J. Masters, has just been released. The new book, by journalist David Sheff, relates the remarkable and inspiring story of Jarvis J. Masters, a longtime Buddhist practitioner and author who's been on death row in California for more than 30 years. The Buddhist on Death Row, How One Man Found Light in the Darkest Place, was released earlier this month and has gained widespread acclaim from reviewers for its careful telling of the story of a man whose life has been destroyed by systemic racism in the US and who, despite this, has turned to the Buddhist practice and a life of radical transformation. In recent interviews, Sheff has been joined by Masters to share the story of a man showing remarkable calmness and kindness amid the most challenging of circumstances. Bhutan has ordered its first national lockdown as COVID-19 cases reach 113. The government of the Buddhist Kingdom of Bhutan last week announced its first national lockdown since the COVID-19 pandemic spread to the Himalayan nation. This after a 27-year-old woman, recently repatriated from Kuwait, tested positive for the coronavirus after her release from quarantine. She had by then come into contact with several people in and around the capital city of Thimphu. Bhutan has so far reported 113 confirmed cases of COVID-19, with 97 recoveries and 0 fatalities. This is the lowest number of recorded cases in South Asia. To date, all of the cases have been imported. The government has ordered the closure of all schools, institutions, and businesses and called for school examinations to be postponed, with residents instructed not to leave their home districts. The acclaimed American Buddhist academic Stephen D. Goodman has died at age 75. The widely celebrated author, translator, and professor of Tibetan Buddhism, Stephen D. Goodman, died at his home in Oakland, California on the 3rd of August. He was reported to have been suffering for some time and receiving treatment for a rare blood disorder. Goodman was a professor of Asian philosophy and a research and program director for Asian and Comparative Studies at the California Institute of Integral Studies in San Francisco. Before his 2-decade career at CIAS, Goodman taught at the University of California at Berkeley and Santa Barbara, Rice University, the Graduate Theological Union, Nyingma Institute, and Naropa Institute, now Naropa University. His final book, The Buddhist Psychology of Awakening, an in-depth guide to Abhidharma, was published just last month. Students, publishers, and Tibetan lamas joined in offering remembrances of Goodman after his passing. And lastly, in Australia, the Buddhist charity Tzuchi has provided a vital lifeline for Melbourne healthcare workers. Amid an ongoing shortage of personal protective equipment for healthcare workers in Melbourne, the capital of the Australian state of Victoria, the Buddhist charitable organization Tzuchi Australia has been at the forefront of efforts to ensure crucial supplies continue to be available throughout the pandemic. Since April 1st, Tzuchi Australia has supplied in excess of 41,000 protective masks, 1,300 medical gowns, and some 400 face shields to 7 hospitals and 8 care facilities for the elderly in and around Australia's second most populous city. At the time of this writing, on August 14th, Australia had reported total of 22,000 cases and 375 deaths. The majority of these cases were recorded in the state of Victoria, which had reported 16,000 infections and 289 deaths. That is all for this week's BDG News Review. If you enjoy regular news videos delivered to you each week, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and share this video with friends. We appreciate your support and feedback in the comments below. Be sure to check out our website, Buddhistdoor.net, for these stories along with special coverage and features of Buddhism around the world.